Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night with the overwhelming feeling that someone or something is watching you? What if I told you it wasn't just a feeling? Tonight's story isn't just unsettling, it's a terrifying reminder that sometimes when we look into the darkness, something looks back. This is the story of the tenant in room 6C. My name is Ryan. I'm a property manager for a small apartment building in a quiet, tucked away part of New Jersey. Nothing fancy, just 4 floors, 20 units, most of them filled with retirees or students looking for cheap rent. Everything was normal until room 6E became vacant. The previous tenant, Mrs. Halbrook, was 83. She passed away in her sleep, peacefully, or so we thought. Her daughter came to clear out her things, left the keys, and that was that. The unit sat empty for a few weeks. And that's when things started to feel off. It started small. The cleaning crew I hired to prep 6C refused to finish the job. The first cleaner called me mid-shift, practically whispering, "Mr. Ryan, there's something wrong with that apartment." She wouldn't explain, just said she didn't feel alone in there. The second cleaner quit on the spot, told me she heard whispering in the walls, said she saw shadows move in the corners of the room when there was nothing there. I thought they were overreacting, so I went to check it out myself. I walked into 6C just before sunset. The place was cold, unnaturally cold. No windows open, no AC running, just this thick, heavy stillness. I brushed it off, turned on some lights, walked through each room. Everything looked normal until I stepped into the bedroom. That's when I noticed the mirror. It wasn't part of the original furnishings. It stood tall in the corner, covered in an old dusty sheet. I pulled it off, and what I saw in the reflection chilled me. It wasn't me. I mean, it was me, but not exactly. My reflection was smiling. I wasn't. I stared, frozen. My reflection raised its hand and waved. I turned and ran out of the apartment, heart pounding. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that mirror, that grin, but things only got worse. The next morning, I got a call from security. "Ryan, we picked up movement in 6C overnight." He sent me the footage. At 2:41 a.m., the door to 6C opened on its own. No one was there. Moments later, a figure appeared in the hallway, mirror outside the unit. No face, no clear form, just watching. By now, I was too curious or too stupid to stay away. I went back the next day. This time, I brought a friend, Mark, a no-nonsense plumber who's done work for me for years. We entered together. Everything was normal. At first. Then Mark said, "You smell that?" It was a horrible, rotting stench. We followed it to the mirror, and this time, both our reflections were smiling. Mark bolted. He told me later that as he turned to run, he swore he saw someone step out of the mirror behind me. I didn't see anything, but I felt watched, followed. That night, I dreamed of Mrs. Halbrook. She stood by the mirror, her face hollow, her eyes weeping black tears. She whispered, "It never leaves." I woke up to the sound of scratching inside my bedroom wall. The next few days were a blur. Lights flickered randomly. I heard knocking, always in threes, on my door at night. Once I opened it to find a note. "Look in the mirror. Say its name." I didn't know what it was, but I felt myself slipping, my mind unraveling. I stopped sleeping, stopped eating. I started seeing versions of myself in reflective surfaces, windows, phones, even spoons, doing things I wasn't doing, winking, smiling, bleeding. I finally decided to get rid of the mirror. I went to 6C, busted the mirror off the wall with a crowbar, and dragged it to the basement storage unit. As I locked the unit door behind me, I heard whispering, "You can't hide me." I turned and caught a glimpse of my reflection inside the storage unit window. It wasn't a reflection anymore. It was waiting. I did what any sane person would do. I called a priest. Father Joseph came the next day. He blessed the apartment, sprinkled holy water, did the full ritual. But halfway through, he stopped. He turned to me, pale and shaking. "Who invited it?" I don't know what it is," I stammered. He said, "This isn't just a haunting. It's an invitation. Someone summoned this. It's not from here." He wouldn't come back. I went digging through Mrs. Halbrook's tenant records. Found something strange. She had weekly payments to a spiritualist named Mara. I found Mara. She was nearly 90, barely lucid. But when I mentioned 6C, her eyes lit up with fear. She wanted to see her husband again, she muttered. She kept calling him in the mirror, but something else answered. I asked, "How do I get rid of it?" She laughed. "You don't." That was 3 weeks ago. The mirror is still in the storage unit, locked away, covered. But some nights, I hear it calling. I see movements in my apartment windows when no one's home but me, and every now and then, I catch a glimpse of myself in a reflection, smiling, even when I'm not. Some doors shouldn't be opened, some mirrors shouldn't be trusted, and some tenants never really leave. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to check your own reflection tonight. And if it smiles back at you when you're not smiling, run.